The jet black 540 is finally gone. Picked up and paid for and back in its customer's hands. Long service, but finally done. So today was a big push. We had Sergio in today. We got a lot of work done on the 01 carbon black with the blue interior that I filmed at the end of yesterday. Exhaust came off, drive shaft came out, heat shields came out, all the same shit. Drive shaft is rebuilt and reinstalled mostly. We think there's an opportunity, there is definitely an opportunity for additional service here. The differential bushings in the rear, well, let me turn the light on. Try to get a better look up in here at an angle. That's a pretty deep and sagging crack. Sometimes you see the surface cracks, that's more significant. It's about the same deal over here on the right side of the car. But more importantly, in the front, and I don't know that I'll be able to get a good angle on it right now. Come in maybe this way. Up top, there's supposed to be those 4 little bubbles, one at the top, and that top one is just rotting out and mostly gone. So if it's not yet, I haven't driven this car yet, but if it's not yet, that diff is going to be clunking around in there and really putting strain and stress on that front mount. So I've got to get in touch with the customer and see if he wants to take the extra steps to take the diff out, potentially reseal it. We've got some sweating over here on this axle, though not actively wet at the input or output flanges. If I had it out, I would definitely do it, but it's another few hours labor. So we'll have to see what he says there. But we got a nice chunk out of this car today. Wheels are off. They couldn't get them today, so they're going out tomorrow. Speaking of wheels, I took the spare out of my 540, which is the one on the right, put it on the car, and it's miraculously not bent like at all. It's perfectly straight. And the 2 existing front wheels were also straight. Now, I received the spare tire today, which is this one. This came from Tire Rack, matching the other 4 in the set. Michelin Pilot Sport All Season 4 Plus to 3545 ZR17. So the plan is we're going to take what was the front right, take that 800-mile tire off, put it on the old spare, that'll become the front right wheel, and then take our new tire, put it on the old front right wheel, and that will become the spare. I want to keep the wear even, so we'll have the brand new tire in the trunk. And the reason for swapping the wheels is purely the face of this one, kind of right here around the lugs, is just gouged up, light surface level. When I eventually refinish these wheels, it'll be fine. But this wheel is in slightly better condition and a genuine, and I don't even think curbed at all. This one had a little bit of curb rash in it. So, small improvement there. Larger improvement today was the power steering hose. I finally had time to get that in. So that's the hose from the cooler to the box. It's kind of a pain in the ass because there's sealing washers on each side of the banjo bolt on top of the box. And you're working in between the frame rail and the engine, and the secondary water pump is there, and there's just all this crap in the way. So it's a real pain to get to. But it's in, torqued, and not leaking anymore. So hopefully that's going to be the end of the steering leaks. Cleaned up the belly pan and had a little bit of power steering fluid right in this area. Put that back together. New washers on the cooler side of those lines, and changed the fluid again. I did note that that valve cover is indeed slightly seeping. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it up in there, right there at the corner, the bottom of the cylinder head. There's just a drop after probably only 40 or 50 miles. So valve cover job will be forthcoming, and I want to have those valve covers resealed as well, or re-powder coated, refinished, how about we call it that, while they're off, and just repair those studs and make that all nice. Small thing I noticed here on the front bumper, these air inlet ducts have a bit of a little plasticky rubber thing that I had mistakenly put on the outside. There's a little channel here right in this piece, not this piece, but this second one, where that fits in, and it's just a cleaner look. So up on the lift today, I could easily see that, and I've corrected that. Then to the 2000 carbon black that has been up there. Now it's down here. Suspension was torqued at ride height, so it's drivable. We did put the belts back on while we wait to hear from the customer on those pulleys and water pump. Took it over for an alignment, as predicted, way out of spec, so that's been corrected. Then the passenger seat came out today for seat twist repair, and we got new black plastic covers down along the side of the seat. That took longer than expected. I think that seat was a real pain, but it's back in and torqued and done. So we're at 87% according to shop management software. So we're trying to collect a payment from the customer as we move on here and approach the end of the month. But now we're going into some quite unpleasant work. He's elected to have the headliner, A, B, and C pillars and rear parcel shelf rewrapped. Parcel shelf A, Bs, and Cs aren't too bad, but seeing that the headliner's got to come out, that means the sunroof comes out, and putting it in is a real joy. And then I've got to figure out how to transport a headliner 15 miles to get it down to our interior and upholstery sublet. So maybe that starts tomorrow. The 750 after 300 miles with the transmission additive is not really making any appreciable difference in that rough 5.4 downshift. Got the company back on the phone today. They requested a code scan of the vehicle and some symptoms. They send that off to their techs. Techs make a decision on how to proceed with the warranty. He said it's more than likely that we'll get a replacement valve body unit, which I believe is what you see when you take the oil pan down. So we'll swap that out, reset adaptations, bleed all the fluid again, and give it another go. The Sepang M5 was stolen today. They stole everything except the entire exhaust system. No, I'm just kidding. The exhaust is in here because the car, it's got to be pushed up and down the hill. It's hard for two guys to do in the morning, so it's living out back tonight, locked up and safe. The story on this is today we pulled the exhaust off, pulled the drive shaft out, and taking a look at the drive shaft, which is about to be sent back for a second time to our supplier, and I'm disappointed in the troubles we're having with it. It's behind this bird's nest here, I think, but the CV joint is overflowing with grease and falling apart. That collar down here has come off. That's supposed to be crimped on. The back cover is coming apart, and that's got to be the problem of the high speed / rev vibrations or buzzing. So, and one of the weights that's welded onto the drive shaft just fell off today. So that's nice. So it's got to get rebalanced and get a CV joint. And I'm pissed about that because now we have to spend time and money and effort on something that we shouldn't have to. That should be a quality part like the first 6 we sold, but this one's having issues. So when it comes back, we'll reassemble that and see how things go and how it drives after that. The heat shield right back above where the drive shaft meets the diff input flange. Take a look at all the grease slung all over this as that casing failed and it opened up. That's all CV joint grease. So maybe too much slung out and now it's running dry and grinding, or there was too much in there and the pressures and the heat kind of just blew it up and detonated it with too much heat and pressure. Some dumb fun little work today. I ordered a bunch more fasteners that we've been burning through, so we got more of those. We got more of those. The diff drain and fill plugs, I refilled that. So we've got more coming in tomorrow. That's just everything they had in stock. And I bought some other stuff. Oh, the cart. Yeah, so I went to Harbor Freight earlier today and we got our new service cart, which is this one, all set up and assigned to technician Michael. So the changes here over yesterday, we get the little black rubberized pads and cut those to form for all 3 shelves. Then I got 3 storage bins for larger hardware. We have 2 of these 4-pocket bins down there. One of these massive ones. Got a little BMW roundel on there, E39 source sticker, paper towels built into the cart, magnetic trays for fasteners or small tools. It's set up tomorrow morning to do an oil change on that car. And then we've got these, I had to modify these because they come in 18-inch lengths and we want like whatever that is, 14 or 16. So just magnetic $5 Harbor Freight strips, but I have to put them on in the vise and then use the grinding wheel to cut them to size and chip part of the magnet out, drill holes in it, drill holes in the cart. And then these are S62 like timing cover bolts and nuts holding them in. But now we've got plenty of places to stick our sockets. So fully up and running with 2 carts. Then the original one that we got is one of the first things that we bought in here because we immediately saw the need and benefit for it. I totally tore it down to studs today, vacuumed it out, cleaned everything with Simple Green. We got a nice new felt pad on top. Got rid of a bunch of old leftover pieces from previous projects and cleaned out the storage bins. So 2 carts up and running now for 2 technicians, and I think that's going to help our workflow tremendously. As you see, the E60's in here today. I'm taking the F10 home. That hasn't been driven in a few weeks. So it's really dusty and out front, and I look forward to driving that. It's been a while. Kind of cleaned up this cart today too. It was all fingerprinted and greasy, so it looks nice and shiny again. And this is what was in what has been recently the spare tire for my 540. Huge like wood nail that had some sort of a head on it and a little flange there that has been destroyed. So I pulled that out with some pliers from the hole is there. Yeah, gnarly. Certainly would be repairable if you really wanted to, but the tire's old and bald and I have a new one. That's where we stand on Tuesday night. I'm going to take the M5 home and take a shower and do the usual. Talk to you in a bit. It was pizza night here at the house, followed by a viewing of Die Another Day, one of my favorite James Bond movies. I think a 2001 special featuring both the Ferrari 355 and 360. Of course, all being destroyed, hopefully fake cars. So did some emails, sent out some estimates tonight, got some jobs approved. updated some pricing, all this boring shit that has to happen behind the scenes for a business to run semi-smoothly. And then a little bit of time on the couch with a CPK pizza. So tomorrow, Wednesday already, this week is flying by. The entire world is flying by. Somehow it's nearly November. It feels like it should be about August 1st right now. Absolutely crazy. Anyways, we'll talk on hump day. Night.